Yo, what is going on, Steeler Nation? Welcome back to, I believe this is episode 329 of the Steel Factory podcast, live from the North Oakland studios here in Pittsburgh. My name's Rion. I'm joined by my co-host, Junior.
Yo, what's up, guys?
That intro is always a mouthful, but fuck it. We have some news. We got an offensive coordinator. This is episode 329. I was right. Okay, yeah. We have hired Arthur Smith as the Steelers' new offensive coordinator. Not we, but the Steelers, you know what I mean? What did you think of this whole process? In the end, we only interviewed 3 candidates, but we did have, I guess, a couple others in our sights, supposedly, allegedly.
Yeah, I think what was interesting was we interviewed Arthur Smith, Zach Robinson, and Gerard Johnson, right?
We were going to interview Zach Robinson. We interviewed the guy from the Panthers instead.
Oh.
I guess formerly interviewed. We might have had discussions with Zach Robinson. He was our guy that we wanted. Or Clint Kubiak, but...
Anyway, I think, the process was a little shorter than I thought it would be, but I guess it's kind of like how it goes. You know, lots of head coach hires happened, and they got to fill in that OC spot, so that kind of, dries up a lot of spots. I think we expected it to go on at least a little bit past this weekend. I think this weekend in my head it was like, okay, we can probably record Saturday and put out an episode about who our top candidates for that we like, as far as like us personally. And we would have put guys like Clint Kubiak or Zach Robinson at the very top of that list.
Yeah.
And then in my head I kind of knew look, I've watched a lot of Falcons this year, just because their games were always interesting because they're kind of you don't know if they're gonna be good that week or not. So it's kind of cool to bet on their spread and hope they cover. So I know Arthur Smith is well liked in a lot of more analytics based circles.
Okay.
I think among general fans, he's he's like, oh my god, this guy never plays fucking our number one picks, right? Like Drake London, they're 8 overall tight end, and then Bijan Robinson, right? Like all these guys that people want him to play. So among fantasy circles, people hate him because he doesn't just feed the top end talent. But if you look at the raw numbers where he does end up, it's not really that bad. But anyway, Arthur Smith, I think, was an obvious hire for us at the end of the day.
Yeah, he crossed all of Tomlin's boxes pretty much. It's funny though. I was just looking at the Falcons roster. They have so much first round talent. At least in the skill positions of Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan. Dude, I don't know. It's easy to look back at what he just did, and what he just did is get fired from the Falcons, a team that went 7-10 3 straight years, had a okay offense. They talk about how he couldn't get his star players the ball, whatever. So people were saying, well, that was kind of bullshit. But we do look back. You look back at what got him that head coaching job, and that was his job done at Tennessee, being an OC for 2 years. And I mean, right away, I want to look at the quarterback stats under that, I guess, regime tenure. And, Tannehill wasn't the most explosive or elite quarterback during his career. Oh, he's still playing. But that dude had 33 touchdowns and 7 picks in that second year under his offense.
Dude, those are MVP numbers
but especially this current year. That would have been...
Those are MVP numbers. That's I think that's on Dak. I don't know what Dak's numbers were this year, but they were really similar. No one's throwing 40, 50 touchdowns right now. Not even Mahomes.
They were the 1 seed one year, and they got to the AFC Championship the other year, and we're up 14-0 on the Chiefs at one point in that AFC Championship. So it's he kind of balled out. I'm not gonna lie. And then you look at the offense rankings; they're top 10. Of course, Derrick Henry had that 2,000-yard season. He was in his prime. Probably the best running back right now. I mean McCaffrey actually, but the guys went off. AJ Brown had a couple good years too. Got him paid on the Eagles. And you look at it now. What's up?
I was gonna say the only reason he didn't get paid on the Titans is because ownership didn't want to pay him, and now he's the best receiver in football or up there.
Yeah, he had a really good year last year, first with the Eagles. But then you look at the Titans now, and they're kind of like a below average franchise. The offense has had as many question marks as us. They tried Will Levis this year. Don't know how that's going. Yeah, I mean, they had good weapons for those couple years, and they were good, you know. Didn't they beat Brady one year in the playoffs, too?
I don't remember. Titans?
I think, yeah, that was like Brady's last year in the Patriots. They knocked him off in like a wild card or some shit.
Oh, I think they got his they ended his Patriot career with a pick, I think.
Yeah. And all in all, I mean, this guy was like on the Titans organization for close to a decade and basically just worked his way up, and that's kind of respectable. But besides that, that's really where all his NFL experience came from, and that's what Tomlin was looking for. He was looking for a guy that basically had experience already as an offensive coordinator and I could bring new ideas. Not sure if a failed head coach is like the most attractive hire, pretty much, but it's what the Steelers have always done, right?
Look, I think a lot of look, he got a head coaching job for a reason. He was that good of an offensive coordinator, right? Like, he took a Titans team with like serious talent at skill positions, and he got to their ceiling at the AFC Conference Championship.
He got a head coaching job
as a 1 seed.
He got a head coaching job at 38 years old.
Like
he's a young guy. Yeah, he's a young guy. He's in his second stint as an offensive coordinator now. Obviously
he has a
go for it.
Look, he has a proven track record as a guy that can create top 10 offenses, not just like by like, you know, scoring and yards and stuff. You know, the Falcons had one of the best running games, and obviously so did that Titans team with Henry. But like from an analytics perspective and from like an efficiency perspective, like it's there. And I'm telling you, man, like I watched a lot of the Falcons this year, and they had some good ideas, some good plays, but he's not a good head coach. Like he's not that guy. He's not the guy that you want to be like the face of the organization. And Desmond Ridder throws picks like Desmond Ridder throws a pick every time he's inside the 20. It's ridiculous.
And I mean, we're assuming we're rolling with Kenny. One thing he does do is take care of the ball. You just gotta hope he takes that next step this offseason with this offense. I don't know if Tannehill's gonna end up being the backup now, or like fucking what was the other guy? Heineke was the guy in the Falcons that he was with. I don't know if he's a free agent. Everyone's saying that we should bring Mason Rudolph back. I'm on board with it. But look at this stat right here. At 41 years old, Arthur Smith will be the youngest coordinator to work for Mike Tomlin.
Damn.
I mean, you got to get younger and younger as you go, right? Maybe the next DC will be 39. We'll see.
I think this is a good step, man. People get really into, obvious, like so did I. People get really into the idea of like we got to get the next like Shanahan, McVay, like protege, the next prodigy, like the next McDaniels, and get him to be our OC, right? And that was, that's the Kubiak and that's the Zach Robinson like dream basically. But at the end of the day, my way of coping with it is this guy, he had some top 10 offenses. He has like a bunch of NFL experience, way better than Canada ever did, who basically just kind of meandered around college football.
Pretty much. And he was like 50 by the time he got here. Yeah.
Our ceiling is Kenny's ceiling now.
It's pretty much that, and I guess we're really excited. Art Rooney had recently came out. He had his own interview with the media, wrapping up the season, basically saying that this is a big year for Kenny. Basically saying it's do or die for him now. I don't want to go after a quarterback this offseason. I feel like we still got to, finish the O-line, this whole rebuilding that's taken like 5 years, and some teams do it in one offseason. Finish
Yeah,
rebuilding the O-line, move forward, get a couple pieces on the defense this offseason. That's what we really got to look at. But overall, really interested to see what happens here. We've really cemented ourselves as a good running team these past couple years as well, with Najee and Jalen Warren. That's going to continue with Arthur Smith. Obviously, you just got to hope that passing game kind of opens up. I'd like to see continue use of the play action, which we didn't really do at all under Canada. Apparently, Arthur Smith has done a good job with that. And yeah, man, let's get the ball to our best players. You know, Pickens and fucking Fryer move Deontay.
like, I feel pretty good about. I feel good. Our running game is gonna get better, and it's already very good. I think having Mason in camp would be really good for Kenny, just because he kind of reminds me of Tannehill, you know, like a bit of a huge guy, just stands in the pocket and makes the big play or makes the big throws. And that's what we're about, really, you know. So we'll see if like Kenny being a little bit more of like a dynamic player, a shiftier player, can take that next step up. And I think it's really I think this is a floor raiser, dude. I feel really good about like our
Yeah,
11 and 6, 12 and 5 dreams right now.
right. A lot of people were saying that, especially the people that are really ready to push Kenny out of town. Oh, Arthur Smith passed on Kenny in the draft. What does that tell you? Like they got Drake London at 8.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Like,
Drake London's
they were never getting Kenny at that position. It is what it is. What other thoughts do we have here? We're running at like 12 minutes now. I wanted to talk about the next steps, and that could be bringing in Mike Munchak as your O-line coach, and probably upgrading at your QB coach position, assuming Sullivan might be out. Randomly got interviews for OC jobs, like with the Raiders and who else? The fucking was it
I don't know.
Not the Cowboys.
Maybe the Panthers? No.
Panthers probably. I don't know. I thought it was really weird. We'll see what happens from there. I'd really like to see what happens on these on the assistant jobs, the positional coaches, because that usually always changes when a new coordinator steps in with his own guys. Also too, I don't know if you're gonna like this or not, but upon diving in through the connections, right? Arthur Smith worked for I brought it up earlier, Mike Munchak, when he first got to Tennessee, right? Mike Munchak was a good ass O-line coach for us for several years. And once Munchak left, they got Ken Wisenhunt, who was an OC for the Steelers for Ben's first couple years too.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy had connections to former Steeler coaches already.
Barely. I think once you get into the NFL, dude, it's so like if we would have hired Raheem Morris, it's like, oh man, like he has connections to Tomlin, like like we're never actually gonna get an outside hire. Like it's just what the league is at this point. Like there's so much overlap. There's so much turnover, but at the end of the day, like it's a lot of the same people getting put in new spots, and it's a really kind of overlapping thing, you know. That's why coaching trees are just like coaching bushes. Everyone's the same thing.
Yeah. Overall though, I'm okay with the hire. Not the guy we dreamed of. I do like one take though is 85% of Steelers Twitter's pissed about the hire. What does that tell you? It tells you it's a good hire.
I think so too. Yeah. What I learned is, dude, always fade the public, man. If Reddit tells you something, like you know, it's not gonna happen. So I think this was good. I think they're being really reactionary. I think Arthur Smith is a really solid hire. He's in my top 5. He's probably like 4 or 5, right? But at the end of the day, all of those guys were big steps up from Canada.
Right. And like we said, this is the youngest coordinator Tomlin's ever worked with. I think that's a really good stat, and it's a really good step in the right direction. Also, too, they're saying that although it's not signed, but it's pretty much agreed upon, it's gonna be a 3-year deal. So for future reference, we'll keep that in mind. I think Canada signed a 3-year deal as well, and we're hoping we didn't get to that third year, but fuck it, right? See how this goes. But without any closing remarks, I'm really looking forward to hopefully an offense of a breath of fresh air, dude. I know we started to look better when Mason came in. With the new OCs, Kenny looked all right in that one game with the new OCs. But yeah, let's get in a whole new system now. We knew this was coming. Canada got fired like week 10, week 11, and yeah, let's just build upon making it to the playoffs last year. And yeah, man, I'm sick of getting one and done in the playoffs. It's time to fucking finally fucking win some games, dude. It's watching the playoffs and seeing teams win games fucking pisses me off because we haven't done that shit in fucking close to 8 years now. But yeah, what else, dude?
I'm feeling good. This is a really really good like I think a lot of people want to go for like sniper shots with every single hire. You get like a perfect headshot, but if we're like even aiming the right direction and it's a big step in it, then in the spot that we're in right now, our margins are so big just because we're not at the very top right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like if we're like making the OC hire for the Chiefs or the OC hire for the fucking like the Lions, teams that were already like on the cusp, or the Ravens on the cusp of that very next step of becoming like Super Bowl contender, Super Bowl champs, then yeah, you have to absolutely nail it. And I'm not saying that Arthur Smith isn't nailing it. I think it's yet to be seen. I think the jury's still out. I think it's a very very good spray. We're going the right way.
It's a good Steelers hire, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe he might be the right OC for us right now. That's probably what Tomlin feels. His system is what we need right now, and probably the way they want to fucking play the fucking game, with the run game, fucking bully ball, shit like that. Well, without any further ado, this will be the end of the episode now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Arthur Smith news. We'll see where we go from here. Free agency and all that's still a while away. But it's good to get an episode out now. I'm really glad we got the OC hire out of the way already. I'm pretty sure shit like this happens so that they could go right into draft scouting with the whole fucking new system and the new OC already there, shit like that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a rating on Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you so much for tuning in, and peace out.